Hello and welcome to episode 132 on the Online Trainers Podcast. Today's topic is Facebook ads and generating cheap leads. Hello and welcome to the Online Trainers Podcast, where we go behind the scenes to uncover the latest tactics and strategies top trainers around the world are using to get more clients, dominate their marketplace, and get their clients amazing results. There is absolutely no fluff here. I'm your host, Lynn Trin. Now, a great question that I always get asked quite often inside of the Online Trainers Club, and I do get a few inquiries a day of whether or not we set up and we have an agency that runs Facebook ads, only just because not only have we achieved great success in our PB City company, but also for the companies of many other online trainers that we help. Now, I wanted to do this podcast episode really just to help you get clear on number one, how you can start generating cheaper leads with Facebook ads, but number two, understanding what these leads are for. Now, whenever I speak to personal trainers, health and fitness pros who want more leads, the question in mind and the majority of the trainers focus on the lead cost. And that's all really well and good, because I'm going to be honest, when I first started out my online business, I did everything possible to get, 5-cent clicks, 10-cent leads under $1, leads under 50 cents. But the majority of the time I felt good because I was generating these leads. But at the end of the day, I didn't know how to turn these leads into customers and clients. And that was the biggest issue that I had. Okay, because, I remember when I started out in 2014, Facebook ads was ridiculously cheap, and it is still ridiculously cheap for what it is and what you get. I mean, if we look at this in the next 5 years, it's not going to be as cheap as it is now, and it's probably going to be as expensive as Google. Now, when we look at these metrics, what you need to understand is, yes, while it's great to have cheap ads is a result of optimization. Okay, and I'll explain that in just a second. The first thing, let me ask you a question, and the question that I generally ask most coaches is I say to them, look, if I can help you generate cheap leads, and get your Facebook ad working really well, how are you going to turn them from leads and prospects into clients? And this is the number one question that most online coaches, online fitness coaches, and personal trainers struggle to answer. And I even struggled to answer this for the majority of my first 6 months starting out. When I was focusing on, putting out content, I was focusing on generating cheap leads and cheap clicks. But the reality was I didn't have a process in place to convert these leads from prospects and leads into clients. Now, when we look at and we break this down, it's really important to understand that, hey, what you need to understand is if you don't have a way to turn these leads into clients and customers, you're going to not only spend a whole bunch on advertising, but even if you do get cheap leads, it's not really going to mean anything. And I remember the first time I ran a really, really great campaign and I thought I'd hit a win and I'd make $1 million off it. I was generating clicks for about 8 cents a click, and my lead cost was less than 50 cents a lead. And when I was able to do this, and when I was able to put this ad up, and I was creating a winning ad, and I was generating all of these cheap leads, what was happening was I didn't know how to turn them into these prospects, into customers. And that's the first thing that you need to do. So, number one, okay, before you even look at setting up a Facebook ad, you really have to map out the strategy. And I was with my intern this morning, and we were mapping out the marketing strategies, not only just for the business and our businesses and the relaunch of our online fitness business, but also the fitnesses of all the other trainers that we do help. And the first and foremost thing, especially when you're about to set up a campaign, you need to have a look at the strategy. You need to, as the entrepreneur inside of your business, you need to figure out exactly how you're going to turn these prospects, these new leads, into paying clients. So what is the strategy? How are you exactly going to do it? And then the second thing is looking at optimization, and that's when figuring out how we can get cheaper leads, okay? So for a lot of personal trainers, I talk about launching a challenge. The reason is, with the challenge, you deliver results first, okay? What's going to separate you from the marketplace is if you're willing to step out there and get people results first, because the reality is, guys, there's Herbalife, Isagenix, there's supplement companies promising people the world and not delivering, and they've got millions and millions of dollars to spend on marketing to acquire customers. And the reality is, for us small players inside of this game, we need to work smarter, okay? And we can't afford to throw a lot of money at this. So for you and I, in order to acquire customers, it's trying to use results-based marketing, okay? It's building trust and adding goodwill inside of the marketplace so that your prospects know you, they love you, they trust you, and they'll buy from you. Okay, that's the first and foremost things, which is why I find challenges one of the most effective ways to enter a new marketplace. Okay, so if you know how to convert via challenge, and if you don't, go and look up the podcast. I think we did one on challenges, or jump inside of the Online Trainers Club and have a look at the webinar I did with Tony on how we're able to monetize on each challenge. Or if you're not, you might have seen a Facebook ad where I teach you literally everything of how we launched a challenge and monetize from that a year ago. And that is still a fantastic way to do it. And why I'm telling you this now is if you're listening to this podcast show, I want you to take action, because I'm going to tell you, I'm going to be completely honest with you. What I'm teaching you here now might not work a year from now, might not work 2 years from now, okay? Because the market evolves. And as the market evolves, when the market has seen your message and it's seen messaging over and over again, the market's going to become more sophisticated, and when that happens, the same message that worked a year ago doesn't work the same, and so your lead cost goes up, okay? And this has to do with market intelligence, okay? This term of market intelligence. So with that being said, I really want you to understand the first and foremost thing before you dive into acquiring leads at a cheaper price. You really need to understand first and foremost how you're converting these leads and prospects into clients and customers, okay? Because if you don't have a way, I don't even want you to get bogged up. So that's the first and foremost. So you can use the challenge, you can use a lead magnet, you can use a high ticket funnel, you can use a video series, and the way is you need to know exactly, okay, how you're going to turn these clients and these prospects into clients. So without that, there's no point of running a Facebook ad. And now I'm going to dive into the good part, because if you're here, you might be a smarter personal trainer for listening to this. Of course you are, right? So you've set up and you understand how to convert, whether or not you're going to get onto the phone, you sell via email, you sell via a sales page. The second step is understanding, okay, it's really understanding that if you are copying what is out there inside of your newsfeed at this very moment in time, right, you're not going to be successful. One of the reasons comes back to market intelligence. If someone else has been running an ad and they've got first place advantage over you, that means that every other consumer inside the marketplace is seeing their ad, and the chances of them re-opting into one of your ads is going to decrease, therefore increasing your cost per lead, okay? It's like, let's imagine this for a second. You see an ad for the very first time about this fat burning pill inside of your Facebook feed, and you're like, holy crap, this is awesome. So you click on that ad, you end up buying the fat burner that they're trying to sell, or you end up taking the trial. You realize that you know what it's all about now. You realize that it hasn't really helped you that much. And then basically 2 weeks later, you see another ad for another fat burner. Do you think the chance of you opting in for that, okay, will be higher or lower? Of course, it's going to be a much lower. Therefore, your cost per acquisition or your cost per lead is going to go up, because now you're paying Facebook $20 to put it out in front of 1,000 people, and instead of 100 people clicking on it this time, you've got 20 people click on it, okay? So I want you to understand this, because this is what I was talking about with my marketing intern this morning. I was really just going, okay, well, look at market intelligence, okay? So you're probably thinking, right, Lynn, well, fuck, if I can't copy what other people are doing, what do I need to do? And the number one thing to reduce your cost right at this very moment in time is to come up with a new hook to sell the same thing, okay? What does that mean? It means that you need to come up with a new way to sell what you're already selling, or give out for free what you're already giving out for free that the marketplace hasn't seen before. So let me give you an example. Let's go back to the fat burning pill. Now, if I market a fat burning pill again and people have already seen it, it's going to bomb, right? Because people have seen it. Not as many people are going to click on it because they know what it's all about now. Their desire to have that, the curiosity has been scratched. And so what you want to do with the fat burning pill is you want to come up with a new hook, and you want to literally, and this is what the billion-dollar supplement industry comes up with every single day to sell different products, is they add a secondary component. And that secondary component can be, hey, from the Amazon jungles, we've extracted Garcinia cambogia, and with this element, it's been proven X, Y, and Z to do this. Now we've added it to our existing formula, our old formula, and the results are absolutely astounding. You must have this. So what you see there is they're still selling the fat-burning peel, but they've added an extra component. Okay, and by adding that extra component, you actually create more curiosity. Okay, but actually the people that bought that fat burning peel last time, the thing that's going to be running through their heads is literally this. If I bought that last time and that didn't work, it's probably because maybe I didn't have this Garcinia cambogia stuff in it. Maybe it was that. Maybe this stuff really works, and it causes doubt, it causes curiosity. So I'm not telling you to market like that, but I want to give you an example. Because a lot of you guys out there are putting out free 7-day challenges, right? And you guys are seeing your cost per advertising soar, cost per lead, cost per acquisition go right up. And the reality of that is, if you do that the same way I did it, and because I was first to the marketplace with these challenges, these online challenges, your ad spend will increase, okay? Or you're going to get dead leads. You're going to get leads that have gone through it, and they know what the process is, and they're just, in there for shits and giggles. So what you need to do is you need to come up with a new hook to sell the same thing, but make it seem different. Okay, and this is where innovation comes in. This is where your ability to change your product, this is where you will win if you have the ability to innovate. Because if you don't have that ability to innovate, you're always going to be behind what I call the market herd, the market trend. And if people have seen the messaging before, the chances of them taking up your product is going to be very, very slim, which means your cost per lead is going to go up. Okay, that's first and foremost. That's what I want to leave you with today. I want you to think about it, and I want you to go, okay, look at your ads and figure out, how can I really change up the hook? How can I change up the offer so that it seems reasonably quite new? You're really selling the same thing, but coming from a different angle that the marketplace hasn't seen before. Okay, because this is really how you get cheaper leads. This is really how you acquire new customers, because if they've never seen your message before and you're presenting to them something new, right? It's gonna cause curiosity. It's gonna cause desire. And ultimately, they're gonna want to sign up to your product. So that's first and foremost before we start any advertising campaign. I hope that makes sense. I've probably spent the last 2 hours talking to my intern about this and really trying to get them on point to really understand this concept, because it is absolutely crucial. But with that being said, that's your one task for today. That's what I want you to have a look at, and we'll be back with more Facebook ad strategies in the next couple of episodes. So keep an eye out for that.
Alright, if you enjoyed this podcast, please leave me a 5-star review on iTunes, and feel free to leave a review, and that way I can respond and I can take that on board in developing content to serve you. Now, if you're not a part of the Online Trainers Club on Facebook, please do yourself a favor and be a part of the conversation. That's where I add daily tips, tricks and strategies on how you can build out funnels, how you can get more clients, and ultimately become a better online coach. Thank you for listening.